Welcome back to the Weekly Dump, your number 2 source for number 1 news. As always, we've got our guest host, Volcy, here in the studio. Say what's up to the people, Volcy.
What's going on, y'all? As always, free Haiti, free Palestine, and fuck ICE.
That's right. Jovan couldn't join us here today, but he is with us in spirit, and he will be editing this. So what's up, Jovan? Hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday. And we'll be seeing you all Wednesday at the premiere of this episode. I just want to jump into it because we got a lot to cover and not a lot of time. I want to give you guys a heads up of what we're talking about today so that if there's a subject that you're not really into, you still stick around because it's going to get crazy. We're going to go through Candace Owens leaking Erica Kirk audio. We're going to talk about Nicki Minaj. We're going to move into Don Lemon getting arrested, as well as 3 other black journalists, and what charges they're facing and how the administration has the audacity to levy these charges in the first place. And then, yeah, we're just going to jump right into the Epstein files.
Ooh, boy.
Which, hopefully y'all are not Epstein filed out. I mean, there's 3 million of those things and everyone's talking about it. We're going to talk about it too. I tried to collect a wide range of different emails that I stumbled across, things that are interesting, things that people need to know about. But really the question's going to be, where's the accountability?
Yeah.
And we'll get there. So you have to stay tuned for that discussion. But let's first talk about Erica Kirk and her phone call leak. Oh, boy. So less than a week after Charlie Kirk's death, there was a Zoom call that Erica Kirk participated in with her TPUSA family. And if you've ever been part of a corporate structure, you know what family really means.
Oh, yeah,
right?
we know. Yeah.
So she vowed to make Turning Point USA even bigger. She called it a behemoth because nothing says grief like talking about quarterly earnings.
Yeah, exactly. Your profits.
So I want to watch some highlights that I took from this leak call, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and stadium, overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, was it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge, huge, huge thank you to the events team, the development team, the graphic design team, the production team. It's just phenomenal. Their incredible work leading into the memorial. And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep. Again, you guys are breathing angels, and I'm so grateful for all of you. And obviously a huge thank you to the Mosaic team. VI, you guys are 10 out of 10. We have the most incredible team. We just do. And you guys know that, and you guys are all a part of that. And I am so, so thankful. And if you do have a moment and you run into any of those staff members that you know had a role in this, and that they put a lot of their time and effort into it, just say
that's
thank
all
you.
I can stomach, right? But you get the gist.
Yeah.
It's just corporate speak, So I think this really tells you everything that you need to know about TPUSA and how they function, right? They're not movements; they're money-making machines.
Exactly.
The mission isn't about ideas or principles or in her case, the gospel, right? This is just about, can we get more voters? Can we get more merch sales? Can we get more money? How do we do that? And they're successful. I'm not going to lie to you. They're probably the most successful at that grift.
They are.
On the left and the right.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts after hearing that audio?
I made a video on this. I think probably a few weeks ago or a couple of months back. When it comes I've always said that capitalism is not just an economic system; it's an ideology. It makes people think in terms of scarcity and profit and things like that, and that infects everything, including Christianity, which is why we have prosperity preachers and everything like that. If you remember that entire thing about that woman on TikTok who was going around, asking churches for help and everything like that, and they all didn't want to help her unless she was part of the church or anything like that. So it makes you think the same way. Um, they're not making money, but they're winning souls for the kingdom,
Right.
which is exactly what you heard her said. All these people heard the gospel or whatever. 100 million people heard the gospel, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what it's all about. It's all about profit. You know what I mean? And that infects everything, including politics. It's not really about, because she talked about, registrations, all the merch that she made. All these people who heard about Charlie. It's all profit making. It's all profit making. And they were, like you said, very, very successful in doing it.
Oh yeah.
Very successful in doing it because I think what they did essentially is FD Signify made a video about this. Is basically they made it into this own religion.
Who made the video?
FD Signifier.
FD Signifier. Okay.
Yeah. He made it into basically he called it the conservative death cult. That's essentially
Yeah.
what it is.
I agree.
It's a death cult because Charlie himself said there's gonna need some deaths for us to protect the Second Amendment. It's
Yeah.
essentially a death cult, and now we're seeing more and more people join. And it
Mhm.
doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter how many people die, how many people get hurt. The point is to push the ideology forward, no matter how many people get harmed for it.
Yeah.
No matter how many people are going to die from it, including her own husband.
Yeah.
And it's sad, and it's bonkers to think about how it's all about just the pockets
Mhm.
and all about just winning.
Yeah.
At this point, that's all what it's about. It's about winning, and they know that they're going to win if they're able to sell more, if they're able to make this entertainment. But one thing I've warned about, I've always said that politics, it can be entertaining, but it's not entertainment, because politics is people's lives. These are lives on the line. And we can debate, have these zingers with each other, with the whole debate sphere. Of course, I do debates as well. It's all entertaining and everything like that, but it's not my praxis. I know these things affect people's real lives, and I think when it comes over to TPA USA side, they're more on the side of, we know this is going to affect people's lives, but I got to make my bag, And it just shows me the entire thing. It just shows me they don't really give a damn about any of this. They just want to make the bag.
That's
How
right.
can we make the bag? And they know that conservatives are the ones that if you make the thing is, I think it was LBJ or one of them said that if you make the poorest white man feel superior to the richest black man, he's gonna empty his pockets for you. And conservatives have figured that out. They say, okay, we could expand this beyond race. All you gotta do is make someone feel that they're superior to somebody else,
Exactly.
and they will empty their pockets.
Yeah, and they've definitely moved off of black folks. I mean, at least for now. Give them the opportunity, and they'll go back to it. But it's trans people, and then if it's not trans people, it's immigrants, and then if it's not that, it's trans immigrants, or you can go down the list. I mean, eventually you end up at brown and black folks.
Exactly.
Right? But for right now, they have their boogeymen, and they're sticking to it, and they're making a lot of money. And I want to get back to the point of the gospel, right? Because I kind of hand waved over that a little bit, and I want to be perfectly clear. Yes, they're talking about the Bible and Jesus and all that, but who is their audience? Their audience already believes that. So when they're saying gospel, they're not talking about Jesus. They're not talking about the Bible.
Exactly.
They're talking about MAGA. They're talking about far-right fascism. That's the gospel that they're preaching. And that's who they're trying to bring in. So don't let them fool you when they say, oh, we preach the gospel to 100,000 people, like they didn't already know. No, they're preaching about hatred. They're preaching about authoritarianism. They're preaching about everything that we were told was American.
Yeah.
And then they wrap it up in a cloth. And they say, oh, this is America now. And it's patently absurd.
It is. It is. I mean, one thing that I remember hearing is that when fascism comes to America, it will come wrapped in an American flag and carrying a cross.
100%. That's what they did.
And that's what they did.
That
That's
was
exactly what they
what
did.
was it? Frank Zappa?
I think it was Frank Zappa that said that. And that's
From like
exactly
the
what they-
80s
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
My man called it. Right?
Called it. I was like, called it. No bullseye. It's exactly what they did, and it's kind of when I was younger. I used to live in Texas, and I went to an evangelical church from year 10, 11, 12. And I went to an evangelical church, and back then it's like I could see, if I remember from back then correctly, I could see seeds of that happening, right? Because one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that we had the satanic panic of the 80s.
Oh yeah, I remember that very well.
Yeah. And one thing that I've said is like when I look at this, when I look at the progression of what evangelicals did, that never ended. The satanic panic is still happening. Because what does the MAGA Christians do? They say the trans rights and LGBTQ community. What do they compare them to? They compare them to Satan.
Yeah.
They say it's all Satanism. Even when it comes back then in the 90s when I was growing up with the evangelicals, it was all about the Chinese, right?
Oh yeah, Pokemon.
Pokemon and everything like that. And the Japanese.
D&D. I mean, D&D obviously that was from the 80s, but it bled into the 90s. I
bled
remember
into the
that.
90s, exactly.
Yeah, Pokemon was another one. Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, really anything that had magic or witches or wizard. Harry Potter. I remember because I went to a Christian school that was full of evangelicals. Now, not everybody there was, right? I grew up Catholic. There was a Jewish boy at the school too, so it wasn't super exclusive evangelical, but the vast majority of the kids were. And when I walked in with a Harry Potter book, it was like I walked in with the Book of Satan.
The Book of Satan, exactly.
And, oh my God, my mom would never let me read it. It's like this is the most tame, teenage book or preteen book that you can buy.
Yeah.
Like,
if you think that's bad. My mom was so paranoid over Avatar: The Last Airbender. So paranoid. Because she's like, why are they, floating in the air and shooting fire from their hands? It's like, that is Satan. I'm like, Ma, it's just a stupid show. Like, it's none of that. But you could see seeds of that from back then. The satanic panic never actually ended.
Yeah.
And this is the culmination of it. If you can make anything Satan, then you can make anybody feel against anything, basically. And the fact that the majority of this country is Christian, like all you gotta do is hit their sensibilities, And I've heard that from Hispanic Latinos as well. They said the reason why a lot of their, abuelas and their tios became MAGA is because they had to say one thing. Number one, you're a hardworking man. They had to hit the machismo.
oh yeah.
And number two, you are a Christian. And the Democrats want to take away your Christianity. They want the LGBTQ to rule over America. So all they had to do was hit, machismo sensibilities and basically homophobia, essentially, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is what a lot of our immigrant parents grew up with. It just is what it is. We grew up with homophobia. I did. So
Oh, I did too.
yeah, so it's like that's all what it was about. And once they hit that, they were able to roll them all into MAGA. You know?
Well, at least a healthy amount of them, right? Not
Healthy amount. Not all of them.
Everybody's falling into that
not all
trap,
of them, exactly.
But a healthy amount definitely did, and I think a lot of it too is like, they really got him with the immigrant stuff because the rhetoric at first was like, oh no, it's just the criminals, and if you're not tapped into politics and you don't know that like, oh yeah, these people have been running this obvious lie and grift for the last 40 years, you might hear that and go, well, that sounds reasonable to me. Like, I came over, whether or not I came over legally or not, I'm here now, I'm fine, and I don't commit crimes. I want the criminals gone because that, them being here causes problems and it makes me look bad, and then... But, they're finding out the hard way. And I mean, look, you look at the poll numbers and Republicans' polls are dropping in the Latino community because the mask is off now. And now they're finally seeing like, wait a minute, it's not just the criminals. It's all of us. We're all in trouble, Yeah,
it's FAFO time now. And one thing that I realize is that when they say that they were going after criminals, a lot of these immigrants who are undocumented, unfortunately, what they didn't realize is that when they say criminals, they don't mean just people, who are committing robbery and felonies and everything like that. Remember, they view you as a criminal.
Yes.
Which is what I was warning people from the beginning. I used to live in Miami, and, I met a lot of MAGA Cubans when I was working at the airport. And I was like, hey, listen, they're not just gonna go after the criminals like you think. They think you're a criminal too. And they're like, oh no, it's all about the people who are robbing and raping and do all this other stuff and selling the drugs and everything. I was like, nah, trust me, because they'll tell you all the time. I'll be like, why are y'all bothering the immigrants? Y'all should be getting rid of the criminals. And they'll be like, oh, if you're here undocumented, guess what you are? A criminal.
That's right.
So. And the thing is, I don't view you as a criminal because I think you just crossed an imaginary line. That's not a crime to me. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But according to the MAGA mindset or the Republican mindset, not just the MAGA mindset, but the Republican mindset is that you're a criminal the moment you do that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of them are getting wrapped into it, and it's FAFO time.
Yeah. No, it really is. And I think the Republicans they twist the words on that a lot. They'll say, oh, well, crossing the border is a crime. And it's like, yeah, if you get caught in the act, that's a crime. Once you're here, once you're past that border, it's a civil matter. Immigration court's always been civil court. It's not a crime, right? But they love to call civil matters crime because they don't know the fucking difference. And it just suits them. But, when Donald Trump is civilly liable for sexual assault, all of a sudden, guess what? They know the difference.
Now they know the difference. Oh, it's a civil court. Oh, it's a civil matter.
But speaking of illegal immigrants, our next story that I wanted to talk about today is Nicki Minaj, who is she's not a stranger to Erica Kirk and TPUSA, right?
Nicki.
So, just in case y'all forgot, Nicki Minaj did appear in the December 2025 America Fest with Erica Kirk, and I wanted to, I don't know, you've seen the video, right? All
yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
just in case you all haven't seen the video, we're gonna play it for you right now, and I think you guys are gonna, I think you guys are gonna laugh. This is peak comedy of the right.
Boy, I tell you.
Hi. Hello, how are you? So those of you who know, Charlie was very good about having a surprise.
It's Nicki Minaj. So I was roughly familiar with Nicki Minaj. Not exactly someone who I would consider is living a moral life.
And we are so blessed to have you. We are so grateful. I mean,
Black culture is being held captive by influences. I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I am honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
So Nicki Minaj is honored to be with the widow of the man who said that she was immoral and not a good influence.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man. There's so much to unpack here, from the fact that hip hop has always been against this type of establishment authoritarian thing, to just the immigrant aspect of this, to the racial aspect of this. It's insane how much you would debase yourself for what, like a bag. It's like, Nicki, you are one of the top selling rappers ever, all time. You know what I mean? You are literally like a legend. You know what I mean? Like, you are up there. When I say like Nicki's a legend, when they call her a legend, people put her up there with folks like Biggie, with folks like Pac, with the Snoops and the Eminems. They put her up there. You know what I mean? And if you look at her discography, her music and everything like that, her career, it really is up there. So for you to do this now, it always asks people, why? Why are you doing this? Because, just a few years ago, back in 2019, you were talking about how you were an immigrant who came in and you feel for the plight of them. And like you were talking about, how I think she even responded to Charlie Kirk saying that stuff about her. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of insane that where did the 360 came from? Where did they come from? I think this is like, it comes from what we're talking about in the last segment, because she did grow up Christian. You know what I mean? So if you just hit that those Christian sensibilities, you can make anybody, turn around and do anything. I've seen people, defend pastors who say that, slavery was good for black people. I've seen people say stuff like that, because it hits your Christian sensibilities, you know what I mean? And it just shows me how much, oh man, it's just so much. It just shows me
It's
how
almost
much
like
of
her
a,
husband and her brother were in the Epstein files. She's just trying to get ahead of it.
trying to get ahead of it. Exactly. She's trying to get ahead of it, and I think she's trying to get ahead of just her brother and her.
I mean, they're both sex offenders.
They're both sex offenders.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So she's with her people.
There you go.
She found him.
She found him. She found him. He's like, these are my people now.
Right?
She found him, and is like it's such a shocking thing to see because like I don't get it because at like hip hop in of itself, the culture has always been against like the conservative establishment. We've never been part of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It started to be against that, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like that's where it all started from.
I mean, NWA didn't say Blue Lives Matter.
No, man. It was all fuck the police. You know what I mean? Eazy-E went to Reagan's like his dinner thing as irony.
Yeah.
He didn't go there because he agreed with them.
Yeah.
He went there to be like, oh yeah, I'm the people that you oppressing and I'm here now. That's why he went there. He didn't go there to do all this to support what they're doing. So it's one of those things where it's like a shock. It's like, what is happening here? You know what I mean? What is happening here? It's like seeing Malcolm X at a KKK rally. What the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. Like you wouldn't see it. And it's I don't know. That's my thoughts. At least from that perspective.
And a lot of people are saying, oh, she did it to get citizenship. She did it to get citizenship. There's some tweets that I want to put up, kind of go in order. So the first one is from 2018. Nicki's on Twitter. She's talking about how she's proud that, she came here as an illegal immigrant. She built herself up, which is great. I think that tweet was great. But then you got to contrast it to now and what she's talking about. It's a complete one. It's almost like she was never an illegal immigrant in the first place.
Yeah.
In the next tweet here that I want to show you is that now she's convinced that she's received citizenship, and so all of that just goes out the window. But as you know, we were talking about this before the show, that little gold card she got from Trump, that was like a Pokemon card.
Yeah,
like,
man. It was a whole souvenir, bro. You got a holographic Charizard. That's what you got.
Like you were talking about, oh, she's doing it for the bag. She was doing it for the gift bag.
For the gift, yeah.
It wasn't even a good gift bag. All right, it didn't even have snacks in it. All right, it was just some hand lotion on the card.
Yeah, exactly. I think she's probably playing the angle to not only get the citizenship, but try to get a pardon from Trump.
That's what I'm thinking. Is for her boy, or what is it? Her husband, her brother. It's just like making sure that that they're taken care of, and
Exactly, but they got state charges. They don't even got federal charges. So you're not even doing this.
Does MAGA care?
No, MAGA doesn't care.
Yeah, MAGA doesn't care. If Trump came out and said, Nicki Minaj's husband is a great stand-up guy, and we're going to protect him from the evil Democrats, they'd go, oh, yeah, no, of course. Like, yeah, Trump, yeah, do it. Like, who cares? The Constitution? Fuck the Constitution.
Yeah, exactly.
They say that every day, right? I mean, we've got how many amendment violations from Alex Preddy? First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, Eighth Amendment, and 14th Amendment, all in one shot.
All in one
they're
shot.
going, oh, no, that was legal.
Yeah.
That was a legal shot right there.
That was fine. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Oh, he shouldn't have put his hand on the officer who was pushing a defenseless woman to the ground. How dare he?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy because I had a debate just this weekend about somebody about that. I was like, yo, the guy did not even, he put his hand up.
Yeah.
But it's like he was defending a woman who got pushed down.
Yeah.
It's like, wasn't this conservatives that said we need to protect women?
Yeah.
Wasn't y'all who were saying that?
Yeah.
And now you got a guy who protected a woman from a person who's clearly abusing a woman.
Yeah.
And it's he deserved it. He deserved to get shot. I don't understand
it's crazy. Yeah, they're trying to say, oh, he assaulted the officer. He put both hands on it. It's like, you can see that we have the fucking video. He's got a camera in one hand. He lightly taps the officer's shoulder, and like in no world is executing somebody the response to, oh, he touched my shoulder because I shoved a woman to the ground.
It's to blast him away in his life. It's insane, And the thing is, I knew they didn't care about the Constitution the moment that they said that undocumented or people who are not citizens don't get constitutional rights. And I had to break down to them how that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're in a certain country, whether you're a citizen of that country or not, you're under that country's laws.
Mm-hmm.
And the supreme law of the land in America is what?
The Constitution. And when it says all persons, it means persons. It doesn't mean citizens, you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. And honestly, like, what country can you go to where you don't get due process even as a tourist? What, North Korea?
Yeah, probably North Korea.
Like,
That's pretty
I'm sure out of the 196 nations, right, that are recognized, the vast majority you have due process. Like, this isn't anything new or special in the year 2026, okay? It might have been new and special in 1776. We're long past that, all right? Due process is for everybody pretty much everywhere on this planet.
Yeah, exactly. And well, like the one example you gave, like North Korea, and even there, they have a due process. It's a shitty due process, but the process exists. It does exist, you know.
So getting back to Nicki Minaj, I just want to let you guys know the White House has been milking this too. Okay.
Oh yeah.
The official WhiteHouse.gov website shows Nicki Minaj, President Trump on stage together, palling around. She's talking about, oh, you're my favorite president in the world. I love you, and all that. They're hugging and kissing, all this stuff. So it's not lost on like the grift, right? Like it's full. It's not just Erica Kirk, right? It's not just tweeting about Trump or palling around with Trump adjacent people. No, she's with Donald Trump. Yeah. And he's also trying to milk, I don't know what he's trying to get out of it, what fans are left of hers that are like ready to hop on the MAGA train at this point, but he's convinced that there are.
That they are, yeah.
And then the other thing too, the last thing I want to talk about with Nicki is she's been a permanent resident for like 2 decades. She has the money. She could have hired an attorney a long time ago. She could have gotten her citizenship. It's never about the citizenship, right? It was never about that. That's just to legitimize this gold card, right? That's just to say, hey, paying Trump $1 million to get citizenship is now a thing. And it's a thing that normal people like me, Nicki Minaj, do. That's what it's for. She never needed it, right? And she didn't actually get it. It's a memento, but, and then the shit about Don Lemon that she put out there, right? Like, this lady has the audacity, after milking the LGBTQ community for all that they're worth, and also the black LGBTQ community, specifically for all that they're worth, because she showed up to Ballroom, okay? Like, she showed up to the culture, and she contributed to it, but now she's completely tossing them under the bus for all this bullshit. And so she made this disgusting post about Don Lemon, and we're going to put it up right here on the screen. And it's just more proof that she has no principles, and she's been a grifter this whole time, okay? If you weren't convinced years ago, you should be convinced now, all right? And that really just brings us to our next discussion. We're going to talk about Don Lemon, what happened to him last week. It is a little bit complicated when you start getting into like the nuances of the law, but on the surface, it's very simple, okay? Press freedom just took a direct hit. Don Lemon, 3 other journalists, all African-American, by the way, okay? Georgia Fort, she's an award-winning local journalist who was covering this protest in Minneapolis. She's the vice president of the Minneapolis chapter for the National Association of Black Journalists. I mean, she is whip smart, okay? Yeah. She was there doing her job, the best that anybody could be doing this job, and she was also arrested along with Don Lemon and 2 others. They're being charged under 2 laws, the FACE Act and 18 USC Section 241, conspiracy against rights. So let me break these down for you. So the FACE Act was part of the 1994 crime bill. It stands for Freedom of Access to Clinical Entrances Act. So this was to protect women and people who were pregnant from, so that they could peacefully and safely enter abortion clinics, as is their right to do. Right. And so that's what the FACE Act was trying to do. There was an amendment made to the FACE Act that included safe to travel to religious institutions like a church. Right. So it's not just protection to abortion clinics. It kind of broadened the scope a little bit to say, well, you should be protected to go to any establishment in which you can exercise your rights. So that's law number 1 that they're trying desperately to hit him on. And then 18 USC Section 241, conspiracy against rights. So this was a Reconstruction era law all the way back from 1871. And this was originally designed to combat the KKK, right? So the KKK would harass black folks as they were trying to express their rights. This law came in to say, hey, you cannot use your freedom of speech to make somebody else not be able to exercise their rights. So those are the two laws that they're operating under. And that's what they charged him with. Now, will it stick? No.
Nah,
It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's not gonna stick.
They brought, I don't know how many judges they brought it to, but it was more than one. And one of the judges that saw it just dismissed right away. He was just like, nah, this is dumb.
This is stupid. Yeah.
They're doing it to scare people. They're doing it to scare independent journalists. It's not like, yeah, okay, Don Lemon technically is an independent journalist because he's not working for a major network right now. But he's Don Lemon, okay? He's not doing what like Jordan Sheridan from Status Quo. That's an independent journalist, right? That's a guy who's out in the street every day covering the things that mainstream media doesn't want to cover. They're trying to scare people like him. They're trying to scare people like the guy from Channel 5.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the people they're trying to scare with this shit. Real independent journalists that go out into the street and cover things that need to be covered, which is, to be fair, what Don Lemon was doing, and that's why they used him as an example, and they used him as an example because he's famous, right? I watched a lot of coverage on this stuff. Maybe 20% of the time I heard about the other three journalists that got picked up. Everything was about Don Lemon because this is about scare tactics.
Scare tactics, exactly. And it's frightening, right? Because if you can be arrested for just reporting on something, what else can you be arrested for? Like everything that we're doing here now.
Yeah.
Can they say that we're violating the FACE Act?
Oh, I'm sure we're on the domestic terrorist list right now.
Oh yeah, pretty much. I gotta call my family, let them know, hey, we gotta pack up. You know what I mean? Call my auntie who lives in Portape, and we may need somewhere to live for 6 months. You know, so it's like it's one of those things, you know. And when you can impede and violate, you know, the constitutional rights of someone, especially literally the First Amendment, the first thing that the founding fathers came up with, so you gotta have freedom of the press, freedom to say what you want in your expression. You gotta have freedom to be whatever religion you want.
Yeah,
you gotta have those three freedoms in order for us to live in this type of society. And the fact that we have the same people, I said this in the last episode, the same people back in 2009, 10, 11, who were swearing up and down that Barack Obama is going to take away your rights.
Yep.
Is seeing it in 4K right now and are saying jack shit.
Yeah.
And are saying that Don Lemon deserves to get arrested and everything like that. Here's the thing, right? If you can prove that Don Lemon coordinated to interrupt this service and everything like that, and they were all coordinated in a mafia style, you know, back room to stop the church services or whatever. If you can prove all of that, all right, sure.
No, even then you don't have a case. Even then you don't have a case. So let me get into see, this is what I meant by the nuance is a little bit complicated, right? So even the DOJ official Harmeet Dillon admitted on video, right, to America that this law has never been used to prosecute protests of churches ever. Not once. Because it's not the act of protesting a church. That's not what the disruption is. The disruption is a threat of violence or violence itself to prevent people from worshiping, like, period. Right? So it would be the case that Don Lemon would have to target a church and all the members of that church and persistently threaten them with violence or commit violence against them in order to make them stop praying to whatever God they're praying to. Like, it's very specific. It's not, you're a church and I don't like what you're doing, here's my sign, listen to me. That is protected. That's been protected under the First Amendment this whole time. This is the very first time this law has ever been used.
Oh, so basically, it's basically like, you know, how the KKK used to do, burn a cross in front of a black church.
Yes, because they're trying to scare them from worshiping, period. It's not, hey, you guys are doing something I don't like, this is what I think about it, hear me. That's protected. It's, I'm going to stop you from praying because you don't deserve to pray. That's where this law
That's
comes
where
in.
it comes in. Okay, so even though them going in and interrupting the service, you might believe that they're jerks,
Yes.
but what they did is actually protected.
Yes.
You know, so it's
And he's double protected because he wasn't there organizing it. He wasn't there protesting. He was documenting it. And that over and over again in the courts has they've said, even if other people are doing something illegal, if you are a journalist and you were there documenting it, you are not culpable for what other people are doing.
exactly
Right? Like if you're at a riot and other people are breaking in windows and you're recording it and you're reporting on it, you don't get charged for breaking and entering. You don't get charged for burglary.
Exactly.
You are just documenting.
Exactly, and let's make this clear, right? Like for example, let's say if Don Lemon knew a couple of guys, they went to him and said, "We're gonna rob a bank," and he said, "Oh, you're gonna rob a bank? When are you gonna rob it? We're gonna rob it at 5 p.m. And then you're gonna ride in the car with us. You're gonna document us robbing the bank, and we're gonna shoot you. And you're gonna shoot all the videos of us robbing the bank, and you're gonna leave with us." He's an accessory now.
Yeah.
Now he's an accessory.
Yeah.
But if Donovan is walking down the street with his cameraman and sees a bank robbery and he starts shooting it, guess what? He's not an accessory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if someone texts them saying, "Hey,
bank robbery in 5 minutes.
Bank robbery in 5 minutes."
And he just shows up to film it.
And he just shows up and he says, that's completely protected.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he didn't coordinate it. He didn't ride with them. He didn't do anything with them. He just knew that it was going to happen because they told him 5 minutes ago that it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Same thing with this. Even if they text them 2 months ago that I'm going to protest this church because the pastor is a member of ICE and fuck you, pastor, for being a member of ICE, that is protected because all he's doing, he just knew beforehand. That's it. He's just documenting. He didn't plan anything. He wasn't there. And he's not, like how you said, using persistent violence or threats of violence in order to stop them from worshiping. All he did was go there and said, "Oh, protest is going on. I'm going to document it."
Yeah.
That's completely protected.
And so, like, I think if you're trying to trick dumb people, the Face Act is the way to go. I think that's the easiest way to kind of like wordsmith and word spin your way through it. What I find absolutely ridiculous is that they're charging them with 18 USC 241. It's very clear in this law, it prohibits conspiring to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate anybody from exercising their constitutional rights. Like, that's from the bill itself. Point anywhere, not even Don, right? Point anywhere in Don's videos where anybody is injuring, oppressing, threatening, or intimidating anybody. Like, I watched the videos. It was a protest. It was just your run-of-the-mill. There was nothing special about this protest. So, like, the fact that they're tacking this on just really shows that they're not serious about this at all.
They're not serious. This is all just a scare tactic, you know, like you said earlier. And again, them entering that church and protesting, you could believe to the high heavens that they were assholes for doing that. I'm not even gonna fight you on that.
Yeah.
Sure, you could believe that they were assholes for doing that. You could have said that they could have waited till after the church service is over. Yeah, you could say that too, right?
Sure.
I don't particularly care. But like at the end of the day, is what they did something that's illegal? Did people, parishioners, block them from entering in and they busted it anyway? Then you could probably charge them with breaking and entering.
Yeah.
But you can't charge them with terroristic acts.
No.
You can't. You know what I mean? It's like this is not the same thing. This is all a scare tactic in order to frighten journalism. That's all it is.
It's a testing ground too. It's how and this is how the Trump administration and I would even argue the broader MAGA movement, the conservative movement, has been operating for decades. It's we're gonna test the waters.
Exactly.
How far can we go before like we really get kickback? And so they'll test it out on these little things that like on the surface may seem reasonable. Like if I didn't bother looking into these two laws, I might go, oh well, I guess maybe they have a point. Right? If I'm hearing all the people on my preferred news station talk about it, it must be true. But the minute you look into it, it all falls apart. But they're just doing it to see how much they can get away with. And it's the same thing with like Renee Good and Alex Preddy and all this ICE business. They're going, how far can we get? And they found how far they got. They can't shoot white people.
Yeah, there we go. Because the black man and the 6 Hispanic man that they shot, that was never on the news.
No, never.
Never. But the 2 white people, sure.
Yeah. That's how they figured out that's how far they can go because I believe they've already fired what's his name? Little Munchkin Man?
Yeah.
Bonvino or Bongino or whatever his name is.
Yeah, they fired him.
Yeah, they already fired him. He went back to Munchkin Land. And no, he got a demotion, and he's out of there, right? So like that is kind of their defeat, right? In that small little battle of how far we can take it.
He's gonna taco in Minnesota because he always tacos. You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
Taco on taco on Greenland, and now he's gonna taco on Minnesota.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's the taco is just part of the how far can we take it. It's just that's the finale. Like that's the and it's oh, we took it this far. Now it's taco time. Like, let's roll it back just a little bit. But they've taken 10 steps forward and only 2 steps back. And everyone looks at the 2 steps back going, oh, okay, well, now it's fixed. It's like, buddy, no. It's not even close. Which, that kind of leads us into our next topic, which is the Trump administration seizes Fulton County ballots.
Whoo, boy.
So in what only can be described as election interference in real time, the Trump administration sent FBI agents to steal 700 boxes of ballots from Fulton County, Georgia warehouse without maintaining proper chain of custody. Now, that's the important part, okay? Yeah. Yes, is it kind of weird that the president is ordering 700 FBI agents to go and take ballots? Yes, that is weird. Okay, but there are contexts where that would not be weird. This just doesn't happen to be one of those. And specifically, we know that because they are purposely not keeping the chain of custody. Right? So for those who don't know, the chain of custody is a log and a record of how the evidence has been kept. Right? And if you break that chain of custody, now you've introduced an unknown variable into the mix. So for example, if I have my phone and I give it to Volcy, but he doesn't log it, and then that phone appears somewhere else, well, I don't know how many hands it's gone through. I don't know if anyone's logged into the phone, did anything, right? And so breaking the chain of custody on these ballots means that Trump can just say whatever he wants about them now.
Yeah.
Because there's no record of who's had them, what they did with them, or anything like that. And so Tulsi Gabbard and her little goon squad showed up. And for also, for those who don't know, Fulton County is Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is So, you know, they're pushing the line. We know where they start, and you know, listen, they're not going to Oregon or Vermont to do this, are they?
They're not.
No.
They're not. And the thing is, just like how you said, they're testing the grounds, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna go to Fulton County.
Yeah.
And they've already, are like, for example, the TPS for Haitians ends today, which is kind of sad. I gotta call family to make sure my family's okay, because I think I had a few people who are on TPS as well. So what's gonna happen next is that if TPS is ended and then there's no chain of custody on what's going on with these ballots, I already know what's gonna come up next. They're gonna go down to cities like Miami, go down to, here in Central Florida, around the Orlando area. They're gonna go to places like Houston, like Chicago.
Yep.
They're going to go to large black areas to say that there are immigrants, or they're gonna be like, or they're gonna be like Haitians are there, or people from the Caribbean are there, and they're gonna send ICE to these facilities, and guess what they're gonna do? Probably harvest some ballots.
Oh yeah,
take some ballots, and it's gonna be election interference in real time. They're testing the waters here, and I think there's not enough. I don't think there's not enough uproar on this, because, again, if this was 2012. And Barack Obama sent FBI agents to the middle of Vermont to take ballots, y'all know what y'all would be saying right now. We know exactly what folks would be saying right now.
The N-word.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, of course, after that.
Yeah, after that.
Then it'll be all shots of tyranny and everything like that. That's all it would be. It will be, he's trying to take over the country and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They were the same guy who was saying that he's going to try to get a third term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, of course, if Trump is interfering with the election, and let's say he still loses in 2026, guess what he's going to say? He's going to be like, oh, that was stolen. Like you said the last time.
No,
I should get
you're
a
100%
do-over,
right.
just like he said the last time. You know what I mean? So these are things that we have to look out for, and these are things that we have to be very, very prepared for, because don't be surprised if you see ICE at polling stations, even though, like, your parents are immigrant-born, but they're citizens like mine.
Yeah.
My parents are immigrant-born, but they're citizens, and I'm not going to be surprised if they tell me, my mom texts me and says there are ICE at the police station, or at the polling station.
No, they're
Don't
definitely going to have
surprised.
ICE at polling stations. There's no doubt about that in my mind. maybe not every polling station, but definitely the Democrat strongholds, the ones that have a lot of black and brown folks, like that's where we're going to be seeing it. Like the church down the street from my house ain't going to have ICE agents. Okay, everyone is my color, and they're all old people. Like that's not Donald Trump wants them to vote,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
No, but we are going to be seeing lots of videos on election days all across the country with intimidation, and we're going to see a little bit of pushback, but we're going to see a whole lot of excuses too. So get prepared for that now,
Get ready for that now.
because
Yeah.
that is what's going to happen, and we're not the only ones who think so. Georgia State Representative Sarah Draper, she said, "quote Once they start investigating Fulton County, they will say that they found something suspicious. It doesn't have to be real. It just needs to offer a pretextual justification for what will happen next." And I think she's 100% right.
She's right. Yeah.
So 10 months before the 2026 midterms, this is where we're at. We're at Donald Trump stealing ballots from one of the counties that he claims that he won back in 2020. And by breaking the chain of custody, now they're completely useless in court. Like, even if he had, like, let's just tinfoil hat for a second. Trump is right. Those ballots are fucked. He can't use them as evidence now. He has destroyed them as evidence by breaking the chain of custody. So, yeah, even if you want to believe that Trump is acting in good faith and that the administration is acting in good faith and they're really just trying to get to the bottom of this horrible election fraud conspiracy, they can't use that shit as evidence anymore. It's done. It's worthless. It's worth just as much as the fucking toilet paper in the bathroom where he kept all those fucking files, right? Like that's where we're at on this. Like none of it makes sense unless you come at it from the angle of Trump's a piece of shit and he's trying to steal all the future elections as well. Because it's not just about Fulton County, right? Like he's going after Dominion voting systems. He's got Elon Musk going on and on about election fraud and shit. He's got I think he had a tweet out the other day saying, "I want to get rid of all mail-in ballots now," which, disenfranchises the elderly and the military. It's just like he's really making a push for this election for 2026 to make sure that because, like, look, all projections point to the biggest blue wave we've ever fucking seen.
Oh, yeah.
If there were no election interference, but there will be. And so we got to be prepared for that. I think when we get a little bit closer to the election, we'll have some tips and tricks for you guys. Just as you're going to polling places, what you can do, what you can't do. We'll put something together to kind of keep you guys informed so that when you do go and exercise your right to vote, you're successful with it.
Yeah, exactly. And these are probably going to be around the times where you're going to see a lot more grassroots organizations becoming a lot more militant. Because unfortunately, we're going to have to protect our rights to exercise our right to vote, to exercise our right to express our opinion, and protect ourselves from the people who are supposed to be protecting it.
Yeah.
People like the FBI and the police departments and ICE and places like that. These are the folks that are supposed to be protecting our rights to vote, protecting our rights to express ourselves, right? But these are the ones who's going to try to diminish it, take it away from us. So you're going to start to see a lot more grassroots organizations become a lot more militant around this, just such as the Panthers. We saw last time, well, he's not a Panther anymore, he's called the Black Lion Party, but we're going to start to see a resurgence of saying, yeah, maybe the Panthers need to come back. Maybe these grassroots organizations that are around the place, maybe even the DSA will say, all right, we're going to have to go ahead and maybe we don't really rock with the Democrats like that, but we got to protect these people's rights to vote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it could end up being chaotic. Let's hope that it doesn't get that way. But the only way that I think it doesn't get too chaotic is if they see that people are willing to take up arms, and not just take up arms, but just be out there to protect our right to vote. Because you just can't shoot everybody.
That's
you know?
right.
You can't do it. It'll end up too crazy. So the only way that is going to happen is if they see that there's a show of force for citizens to protect our right to vote. And it's gonna have to be in these majority black and brown areas because we know that's what he's gonna target.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So to kind of get to the lead, right? Like we all know why you're here, the Epstein files, right? So when the government releases 3 million documents, like 200,000 videos and 180,000 pictures or whatever it is, like there's no way that our small team can look through all of it. So I tried to get what I thought were maybe the most interesting, but who knows, right? So we're just going to go through some of these. We might have more in the future. This might be an ongoing thing as more videos and more emails come out. And also keep in mind, this isn't the full list or the full dump. Rep O'Connor from California was on Brian Tyler Cohen earlier today, and he even said, "Oh yeah, this is only half." And me and a couple other congressmen are going to keep pushing for the other 3 million emails to come out. And then also there's some redaction nonsense in some of these. Like, you guys are just going to have to see. I got one email here where they redacted somebody's last name, and then their last name appears again in the same fucking email. So the redactions aren't even proper, okay? Like, they're redacting shit they shouldn't need to. They're redacting things in one area that are not redacted in others. I mean, there are some where there's identical emails in 2 different PDF files that one's redacted and one's not, completely defeating the point of the redaction in the first place. So you can tell already that, like, the smartest Republicans were on this.
The high IQ Republicans, you know what I mean? The Einsteins, they're the ones who were doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because the FBI, like the Department of the DOJ was caught deleting some files. Like, they were caught deleting some files. And when you just read these files, right? And when it just goes back to what we were talking about earlier, the entire satanic panic.
Yeah.
They're the ones who say that they want to protect children, how the trans people are, you know, the ones that are abusing the children and going after them and grooming. And it's that old adage, every accusation is a confession.
Oh yeah.
Because every single time I'm seeing someone go to jail for, you know, touching on kids or being with a teenager or a teenage girl, a 13, 14-year-old, it's not the drag queens. It's not the trans people. It's always some MAGA pastor.
Yep.
And what we're seeing with the Epstein files, it's Trump himself.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna pull this up on the screen, big screen for y'all to see. I'm just gonna go through this first PDF file. We've got Trump, we've got Weinstein, we've got Prince Andrew, Glenn Dubin, Jess Stanley, Leon Black, Les Wexner, Alan Dershowitz, Bill Clinton, Howard Lutnick, Alexander Guest, Jean-Luc Brunel, William Barr. So this covers the entire conservative political spectrum from the Democrats to Republicans. Okay, but what you notice here is that everybody is wealthy.
Oh yeah,
everybody's got money. This is just a small little bite-sized piece of the club, but you can see I mean, these are all names that some of these are names we already knew were in there. Others are brand new, but they are all over the political spectrum. I want to bring up also, because he wasn't mentioned in that email, Elon's emails. So this is really funny. Elon Musk spent, I don't know, the last year, or I guess since last April, goading Trump into release the files because you're in them and I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, I would never go to Epstein's Island, blah blah blah. Well, it turns out he was begging to go.
Yeah.
And they didn't let him in. Imagine not being cool and rich enough for the pedophiles that they said, no, you're too weird, my dude.
That's insane, bro. How are you too weird for pedophiles?
Yeah.
That is insane, bro.
Yeah.
That is insane. You know, and what else? It's crazy. It's it reminds me, strangely, funny enough, of the opioid epidemic.
Yeah.
We had an opioid epidemic in this country, right? And the opioid epidemic actually, what a lot of analysts have noticed, that it missed the black people. You know what I mean? It's like, we didn't go through that. We didn't go through the opioid epidemic. It completely missed us. And when they researched it, they found that there was still an assumption that black people are stronger. We don't need the pain medication as much. So it completely missed us.
So what you're saying is racism saved you.
Racism saved us. Yeah, exactly, which is kind of funny. And when you look at these files, it said that Trump didn't want any black girls at the island.
Right. You're right. What do you call them? Boogers.
He calls them
boogers.
Exactly. So once again, racism saved us.
I mean, the only black person I think I found in there was Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z and Pusha T.
And Pusha T. That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
But they were there as participants, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't the victims, which is kind of crazy. Yo, hip hop is gonna be in shambles in the next few weeks. I'm pretty sure Jay-Z and Pusha T are not gonna be the only ones. Two legends now.
Yeah.
These are two legends, and I mean Jay-Z is the guy, you know what I mean? God tier.
Yeah.
And Pusha T is like the same thing too, top tier. He just won a Grammy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, ugh, you know, I'm those actually surprised me. I did not expect Jay-Z and Pusha T to be there.
I didn't either.
I did not expect
I didn't either. But, you know, I mean, at the same time, it doesn't mean that they were involved necessarily. Okay, not
Yeah.
everybody at a Diddy party was lathered up in baby oil freaking off. Not
Right,
everybody. It's just, but it makes you kind of wonder a
It makes
little
you kind
bit.
of wonder. I was like, hey, what you doing with this? You know, this girl has a testimony that, you know, she woke up and she saw you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm side-eyeing you now. It's
Yep.
like, I don't know who else is going to be in there.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll be, we just got to wait till more comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I'm like, now do I got to delete some of your, do I need to delete Reasonable Doubt from my phone? Because it's like, oh man, you know, Reasonable Doubt is that album. Now I'm gonna have to delete it from my phone, you know? So it's we're waiting for more to come out, but these files, I ain't gonna lie, made me kind of sick to my stomach.
Oh, very.
Especially, you know, with Trump saying, you know, he measured, I don't even want to repeat it. You know what I mean? It's measured the tightness of teenage girls. It's like, and you were around 40, 45-year-old at this time. Yeah, I mean, when this was supposed to be happening, I think he was around 45 or something like that, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
This had to be 20 or 30 years ago. You had to be around 45, 50 years old. You're 45 and 50 years old, and you're a billionaire. Why do teenage girls interest you? Like, I'm pushing 40 myself.
Mm-hmm.
And even a 19-year-old, I'm seeing like a jit. Like I can't get interest in a 19-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like nothing happens. It's not there. Not the fact I already have a lady. I already have a woman in my life.
Sure.
But it's like even if I did it, I'm pushing 40. A 19-year-old is like, ugh.
Yeah, it's a
You're
child.
19. Yeah, exactly. You just got
Yeah.
out of high school. You know what I mean? Go watch Hello Kitty or something. Like I can't do it.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to try to put myself in that mindset. Like, you know, I can go, you know, I can go, yeah, high school me would have been super stoked to take her on a date. But like that's not the same thing as like let's go to Epstein's Island.
Yeah,
Like that's
it's
not
not that.
so, you know, it's hard for me to put myself in that mindset, but it's got to be some kind of power dynamic, right? So it's like why do these people target children specifically? It's because children don't have the power typically to stand up for themselves.
Exactly.
When these predators strike, they're not striking the kid who is outspoken and loud and and animated. They're targeting the kid who's quiet, who sits in the corner, who doesn't speak up for themselves. And so I think it's because you're more likely to find somebody who hasn't found their voice yet in a younger person that's why they target the younger people.
Yeah, exactly. It's a power thing because any psychologist will tell you that rape is more about power than it is about the sex. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It's all about feeling powerful. You know what I mean? Even things like pedophilia or molestation. I'm sorry, trigger warning for all that. But even things like that, you know what I mean? It's all about power dynamics. It's
Yeah.
not really about, you know, the attraction towards it.
Yeah.
And I saw a post. I'm kind of paraphrasing this post, but people have been saying that the conservative push of, you know, nuclear families and specifically the Christian version of nuclear families, it's all about power dynamic. You know what I mean? If God himself has made the male the powerful one in the family, has made the male the leader of the family, and has control over the women and the children, yeah, at a certain point you'll see that it's going to protect all that. It's going to protect pedophilia because it's like it's God ordained. It's
Yeah.
the master of the universe, the creator of all life, is the one that's saying that the male has control. He has the power.
Yeah.
The man has the power. So yeah, they can do all that. And what's sad about it is that I don't know if you know about Chick Tracks.
No, tell me about that.
Chick Tracks is an evangelical, right? Which is kind of crazy because he's a very good animator. That's kind of crazy. He's
Okay.
very good. But Chick Tracks are basically these little comic book tracks where it comes out where it has a very evangelical slant to it. You know what I mean? He has a one called Big Daddy where he basically criticizes evolution. He has another one where he criticizes D&D. He has another one where he criticizes, where he talks about the end of the world and stuff like that, how the rapture and Christianity is all going to happen. But there's one, I forgot what it was called, but it actually is a disgusting track where he had to actually retract it himself, where he actually he kind of quasi defended or preached forgiveness towards a father who was abusing his daughter in that way. You know what I mean? Because
Gotcha.
he said that, people who are like that, pedophiles and stuff like that, they're controlled by Satan. But if they can turn their life around and turn to God, then you can forgive them and stuff like that. And he preaches, for the daughter and the wife to forgive the father and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So it's a really gross tract where it caused such an uproar. You can still find it online. It caused such an uproar that he himself had to retract it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because so even the Christians were telling him like, yo, that's
Calm down.
weird. Yeah, that is fucking weird.
Yeah.
But when I look at all this, and these are the same people who are supposed to be the godly men and the leaders of the church and everything like that, and this is who you're supporting.
Yeah.
I mean, this is who you're supporting. It's disgusting. I'm waiting for the day where evangelicals turn against Trump, but
that will never happen.
It will,
that will never happen. He will be deified to the end of time. Trump could, he could take a baby on stage, all right, and do things to that baby, and they would just go, "Oh, well, the baby had it coming." Like they would find a way. Okay?
They will find a way. They will say it's AI.
But I want to, before we get off on this, I want to talk about something that you mentioned. The whole like, oh, God is here, and then the husband is here, and then the wife and the children, etc. Right? And I think to have that dynamic and to have that dynamic stick for a long time, you've got to groom somebody to do it. Like you're not going to take a fully grown 25-year-old woman who's had a job and has paid bills and knows the struggle, and you're not going to put her in that situation and have a good time. Okay. Yeah. She ain't going to listen to your bullshit.
Yeah.
All right. So that's why I think like that's why they want to lower the age of marriage from 18 to 13 or whatever it is.
My
and
God.
yeah, dude, it's really fucked up.
Oh.
Yeah. They want like 13 years old with parental permission and like,
any parent that does that, bro, like
is one of them. Yeah, is one of them. Is one of them, right? And that's what they're doing. So yeah, it's like they want and it. Listen, Christians ain't the only ones doing it. Plenty of other religions do this shit too. It's not exclusive, but it is the same pattern. Right? It's older men marrying younger women and pushing them into this life of personal servitude and baby factory.
Exactly.
Right? And that's how you're going to get them. You're going to get them when they don't know any better and they don't know how to speak up for themselves and they don't know how to be independent. And so I think it's not about attraction, okay? Like maybe for some of them it is, but like not for all of them, but what they all share in common is the power dynamic. They want the power over somebody who's powerless.
It's power, exactly. And the thing is, I want to make it clear, we're not picking on Christians or Christianity.
Right.
We're picking on a certain subsection of Christian that takes the extreme interpretation of these things. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, the people who do that now are now in power. Yeah. You know what I mean? So even myself as a non-believer, I can still find wisdom in the Bible, right? You can find a whole bunch of verses in the Bible that's against this. I don't see Jesus saying any of this, y'all. Jesus ain't say none of this. He ain't say none of this.
Yeah.
So it's like when it comes to MAGA Christians, the reason why I say MAGA Christians is because like I don't even view them. I view them outside the realm of Christendom because I interpret Christianity in a way different lens.
Yeah.
The way I interpret Christianity is supposed to be charitable. It's supposed to be loving and forgiving. It's
and
not
welcoming.
And welcoming.
And inclusive.
And inclusive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I interpreted Christianity ever since I was young. You know what I mean? And I viewed it all that way because I grew up in a time where my political awareness was around 2004.
Okay.
The Bush era.
Yeah.
Around that time when people were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna vote for Bush because he's gonna stop gay marriage and everything." I'm sitting in my church. I'm like, y'all, aren't we supposed to, love them and let them live their lives if it's gonna be happy? You know what I mean? Because I didn't see Jesus say anything about that. You know what I mean? So it's like, if we may disagree with it, but let them live it. They're gonna love each other and everything like that. I'm not gonna be against it. You know what I mean? So I think that was my political awareness. That's how I viewed Christianity. And even though I'm I'm at the time in my life where I don't really believe in that anymore. That's still how I interpret it. You know, it's supposed to be inclusive. It's supposed to be loving. It's supposed to be charitable.
Yeah.
And MAGA Christianity is just not that.
No.
So whenever I see, Christians, especially black Christians, defending someone like a Charlie Kirk, defending someone like a Donald Trump, like how Nicki is doing, I'm like, what Bible did you read? You know
The
what I mean?
Supply Side Jesus Bible.
Yeah, exactly.
The Supply Side Jesus Bible is the one they read. The one that says send every immigrant back. Poor people don't deserve to eat. If you don't work, just go and die in a corner. Who cares? Like that's Supply Side Jesus. All right, profits over people. That's what Supply Side Jesus preached, and that's what they believe in. But it's not just about Christian, like you said, it's not just about Christianity. Every other religion has this problem.
Oh,
Every single one. You're not going to find one that doesn't. There's always some extreme sect that I guess we kind of colloquially call fundamentalist, but I don't know what to call it. But that's what it is, right? Islam's got it, Judaism's got it,
Oh, yeah.
Buddhism has extreme sects in there as well. I mean, even the more like secular-ish types of like Shintoism and Confucianism, like you can find the extreme people.
You'll find them
everywhere, and they all believe the exact same shit.
Yeah.
It's the exact same shit,
Shit.
right? Like it's not lost on you, our audience. Like you've been with us for a while. Like I think I know you guys pretty well. You already know that evangelical Christianity is just Sharia for Christians.
Yeah.
They believe in the same thing. They want the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
You know, and yet for the show of it, they pit each other. They pit themselves against each other, but they agree, largely agree. The one thing they disagree on is whether Jesus was divine. That's it. That's
it,
the only
bro.
thing they disagree
That's
on. They believe in everything else, right? The men at the top of the household, profits over people. I mean, the list, it just goes on.
It goes on and
They
on.
want to marry little 13-year-olds. It's weird. It's all weird, but it's all the same weird. And like, it's our, it's our job as the sane people on this planet to put a stop to this kind of crap. Okay.
Exactly.
And we've been winning for a while, and we're not winning right now, but like we can get back to winning again. There was a time in this country where it was considered somewhat normal to marry a girl that was under 18. Now it's seen as disgusting, and we want to keep it that way.
Let's keep it that way,
Let's keep it that way, everybody.
Let's
okay?
keep it that way,
So
okay?
if your state, like Tennessee or Kentucky or Mississippi or Alabama, wants to start passing laws that say 13-year-olds can get married with parental signature, make sure that you get out there and you vote against that shit.
Oh yeah. Vote against that.
But we are running out of time here. There's one more thing I want to get to real fast. That's video number 3. I want to play this video for you, and then up on the screen I'm going to put the Epstein email that's associated with it. So let's get video 3 up.
Secretary Howard Lutnick, thank you for joining Podforce One. You're a New Yorker. You have known Donald Trump for 30 years. You know everybody. Elon Musk, Charlie Kirk, Jeffrey Epstein was your neighbour. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about him. East 71st Street. He was your neighbour for 10 years. How well did you know him?
All right. So we are in number 11 and he lives in number 9.
Right.
So we renovate, we buy our house, and our house is pigeons and mice.
Right.
Okay. That's it. It was derelict.
Right.
So we rebuild our house. We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 2008, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. So my wife and I go next door. We walk the 7 steps,
Yes.
right, to the next house for coffee. We share a wall.
Right.
Right. So it's in New York City. So he invites us in. We have coffee in this, and he says, "Do you want a tour?" We said, "Great." He's
Interesting.
got a really big house.
Every room you went into?
He's got, well, I'll tell you. So his house is like super big, really wide. And so he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room. And then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining room.
Yeah.
And he opens the doors and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now, my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Really?
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Oh.
And so I look back at it as a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift
Yes.
of avoid. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
So
that's
he
my
was-
story. A one and absolutely done.
Right. So I mean, that's an incredible story that you could pick up that he was a pervert.
It's gross. The guy's gross. I mean, right with my wife. Like, he's gross. The guy's gross. This was not, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnick. This guy's gross.
Yeah. So that was just a story. So I'm going to put up on the screen right now the email from Howard Lutnick to Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this guy was full of shit. He was just trying to cover his ass. I guess he didn't think that, like, we're actually going to be in the files, wife. So I'm just going to go on national television and fucking lie about it. Oh, and I know you saw on the little bottom thirds on the news thing that he's part of the Trump administration. Fucking go figure.
Go figure, yeah.
But yeah, so here it is up on the screen. We've got Mr. Howard Lutnick, and he is talking about it. And so, again, 2012, this was after the conviction. And he's talking about bringing himself, his wife, 2 of his friends, and 8 children. 4 of his children, 4 of his friends' children, ages 16, 14, 13, 12, 11, and 7 to Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. So this guy with his full chest goes, I knew from day one Jeffrey Epstein was this disgusting man with massage tables and stuff. And then he turns around and brings his own fucking children, right? Like, it's not just him and his wife rubbing elbows with the pedo.
Yeah.
They're bringing the kids, too.
Bring the kids. God, Jesus Christ. And what do y'all think is going to happen on a big old pedo island with a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old and a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old? What do y'all think is going to happen?
I mean, listen, tinfoil hat time, those may not even be his kids. I don't know. It doesn't specify. It just says we have kids with us. So, putting that out there. Sound booth is telling us we got to wrap up. I agree. It's getting late, but we're just going to put these on the screen real fast in post. So you guys have to know that Chris Poole of 4chan was involved with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you can see here on this email, Chris Poole was being introduced to Epstein by a mutual friend of theirs. Volzy, you were talking about earlier actually before we started filming that Ghislaine Maxwell was involved in Poll on 4chan, which makes a lot of sense. Take a look at this one, you guys. This is Bobby Kotick of Activision Blizzard, where Jeffrey Epstein is encouraging him to indoctrinate children into online economies. Call of Duty points. Yeah. CPs. I mean, a little on the nose,
CPs,
but so there's that. And then also, I think I appreciate like the conspiracy heads of like the 90s and 2000s a lot more today than I ever did.
Yeah.
They were right about a lot of things. They were wrong about a lot of things. But what they were right about is the global elite pedophiles controlling everything. True. That's true. We've seen
That's
it.
true.
They're also right about the Rothschilds, okay? Because they're also involved in this pedo nonsense,
The
too.
Rothschilds are involved?
Oh, yeah. There's emails where Jeffrey Epstein is talking about he is their financial advisor and how he meets them at French banks and shit and does business with them.
Wow.
So there's actually an email here from Jeffrey Epstein himself saying that, it was just a conspiracy theory that It was the Rothschilds, the Epsteins, and this other name that you'll see here on the screen. That all those three are the three global elite families that control everything, and that he agrees.
Oh wow!
And so, I mean, look,
they called it.
I mean,
I'm gonna give
listen,
it to them.
If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it probably flies like a duck too.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen this duck fly, but like I'm just saying, it's maybe he's not wrong. Maybe that is what's happening, and we really are living in an age where trillionaire pedophiles from Victorian times are ruling the world.
Yes. We used to always laugh about how they say everybody's in the Illuminati. You know what I mean? And I've always said that, there is a certain group of people that, have a large amount of influence on global politics, stuff like that. I've always agreed and believed in that. But like, all this stuff about, them eating babies and these huge satanic pedophile rings, that sounds crazy. Now, the satanic part was the crazy part, but the pedophile ring part, spot on.
like the whole blood sacrifices to the owl god Olmec or whatever. Okay, maybe that's a little fantastical, but everything else we're seeing the evidence firsthand. Where we're seeing the mask slip from everybody, like that is just unfortunately the world that we live in, and we have an opportunity to talk about it, to stand up to it, to fight it, and hopefully get justice. And thankfully we're not alone. There are other people in power right now. There are other people with money right now. Maybe not as wealthy, but like still have more pull than we would ever have, that are fighting against this. And if we can all just collectively fight against this together, maybe we have a shot to actually get some real justice and really get rid of, because the Illuminati is real. It's just called Trump and Epstein, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's Mossad, it's Netanyahu, it's Vladimir Putin. I mean, shit. There are emails here that show that Jeffrey Epstein and Jared Kushner were colluding with Vladimir Putin during the 2016 election. The whole Russia collusion wasn't Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin sucking each other's cocks. It was Jared fucking Kushner pushing money around.
Yeah,
we have the emails to fucking prove it, okay? Well, anyway, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We still don't have an outro, so we'll see you later.